Hello everybody, welcome back to a new series of Planet Zoo, where we are going to be starting a new zoo called Sanbell Zoo. Hopefully you will enjoy this series and it will be quite successful. Have fun! So, how we always start our zoo is completely plain, just with the hotel bit where they come through. You always need to start with a path, there's not really much else you can do. You've always got to make sure and be careful because you want to make sure that there's one that fits the scene. I think I'm going to pick the log round one, that looks nice. So you just don't want it too wide either to start with. Well, actually, you don't want bottlenecks where the people all get stuck on one part of the path. So, this series is going to be about a new zoo where we're going to try and make it as successful as possible. To start with, we'll just make a small path, well, nice wide path, completely straight, that'll do. Then, eventually we'll make it more curvy and things, because that'll make it more interesting. Like, in the zoo in real life, if you think about that, you wouldn't just have walking down straight paths all the time. We'll have a nice staff path coming off of that so that no guests can go past. And then we will go to, if we go to facilities and to this, we'll need an animal trade centre, which is where you can get your, basically all of the animals, otherwise you can't open the animal market. And then we'll need a keeper hut, where the keepers prepare the food for the animals. Fancy ones are a bit too expensive at the moment. And then we'll need the research centre, where the scientists research about the animals for new enrichment and toys. And then a workshop for the mechanics. And then of course we're going to need staff rooms where they can have breaks. Let's have 2 of them, just in case people get annoyed that there's not enough break rooms. And then a quarantine for if animals are fighting each other and things like that. And then a veterinary surgery for when the animals need, when they've got broken bones and stuff. We'll just extend that a bit, otherwise it looks a bit funny all flat like that. Now, the next thing is, this is the exciting part, choosing the animal, but just before that, we need to have a small guest path coming off of here, just so, basically, if you had a window here, and everyone was standing here, gazing at an animal enclosure, it could affect the way that when people are trying to walk past, other people are crowding here, so that it's another way of creating a bottleneck. So, we are now going to have a look at the animal shop. So, let's have a look. What have we got here? Aardvarks. It's probably, if you're trying to figure out how to play Planet Zoo, an aardvark is a good starter animal. They're not too hard to look after and they don't require too much space. Adaxes would be fun. I like adaxes. African crested porcupines would be very good because, just like the aardvarks, due to the amount of space. Penguins, maybe not, they breed quite quickly and then you've got too many in a pen. I think we should start with, if we go up a bit, I think a good choice would be adaxes. But sometimes you get caught out because they can't breed if there's only females. All 3 of these are females, even though one of them is pretty good, apart from the size. So maybe we should start with porcupine. Same thing with porcupines, they're all boys. So, we'll keep having a look. Maybe we will find an animal that's worth having. Black rhinos are a bit too hard to start with because they obviously require a lot of space, and we were already down to £23,000. So maybe we should go with something like prairie dogs when they don't require much space. But I think personally we should go with blue wildebeest. They're quite easy to look after and they don't need too much room. So I think we should go with them. Let's find a decent male and a decent female. Just like that. Now we've bought them, we'll come back here and we will quickly go into the Zoopedia and we'll check how much space they need, because it's very annoying when you've just built a really nice habitat and it looks all really good and then they say that there's not enough space. So really we'd probably want around 6 adults eventually and probably a few juveniles. It's about 690, that shouldn't be too hard. So now probably I'd say that might be around enough. We'll have a check afterwards, but so the custom berries are good, but I think they're just a little bit boring, and you can make custom ones out of different things. Like I think Wildebeest, what we're having, like Savannah. So maybe we should do desert rocks. So then it will blend in with the scenery around them. Not too just high, a little bit high like that. And then if we go to advanced move and random rotation all on, then whenever we play, actually, sorry, before we do that, we'll want barriers and we'll want to go to null because it's invisible. And then you can go from the edge of the path. You want a little bit of space for donation boxes and things. But you can just, go like this. And you click. And then we're going to go round. And maybe we should have some curvy sections. I like that. Nice and curved. I like what I see here. This is good stuff. And then round like straight now, and then like that, and back a bit like that, and then straight forward from here, just about joining. See, that is a very short amount of space, so it won't let us. So if we go back and we make it shorter, about halfway-ish, because then the glass looks normal, then those two, and then we can click on it, edit barrier, and there's our enclosure shape. So it's looking pretty nice. And we'll want to make that to glass. And then what we can do is then we go to the nature and we find the right size rock, probably around that size. And I'm going to be honest, I do like the shape of that rock, just like that. And then the setting we put on earlier will make it so that it automatically rotates, so then it will look more naturally made. Because obviously, when you go to the zoo, they're not going to be all the exact same shape and sized rocks, if that makes any sense. So we're just going to go around like this. And then, before we continue any further, we'll figure out where we want to put our door to it. So we go barriers, and then we go here. And let's have it about here, near the back. And then if we go on paths, the staff path, so that no one can go in the enclosure and get hurt. And maybe first, before that, we should extend this path a little bit, because it seems to be glitching a little bit, which can happen. The paths can be slightly dodgy in this game. A little bit glitchy. So then we want to go to the staff paths, and we could literally just connect it like that. And then change it to staff path. No one can stand on that apart from our staff. Now if we click on it and we go all the way to the second one, should say the land area, so that's 508. And this is why we check, because that is slightly not enough. So if we go here, we can edit this, and we can change that to glass. And then what we're going to need to do is go back on barriers, and we're going to need to extend it slightly. So to glass, and then just adding on from that bit, slightly longer, perfection, love it. And then we can go to the null, just like that. And then from there we can have the curvy bit. And then a straight section from there. And then this bit in the middle can be deleted, so it all turns out to be one enclosure. And the door to that bit, like that. So now, when we click on the door, it will show our enclosure, because some of it's invisible. There it is. 816 meters. So that's enough now. That's enough for a decent amount of the blue wildebeest. This is the hard part. Sometimes the path won't join properly, and you can really struggle with it. It can take lots of time to figure it out. So I'm going to delete this piece of path, and I'm going to go from where we'd like the path, probably relatively around here, to here. Join into the main path like that, and then we can go to the nature section where you can find the rocks. Get our desert rock again and start going around. Just following the null line, going round the whole cage, going around the whole enclosure, because obviously, even though it's an invisible barrier, in real life, if you put tape on the floor, for example, and you marked it down, and you put an animal in there, the tape's not going to stop it. So we're going to need something to stop it, and the thing that looks realistic is these rocks, because we like realism. I like realism anyway, so that's how we're going to be doing this. So we'll have these rocks just like this, going all the way along, but then obviously there's an escape point here, the thing in between doors. So we could go to a less expensive rock, which probably means it's smaller, just like that, going around the door carefully. If you are new to the game, to move an object up and down, hold down square if you're on controller. If you're on controller, hold down square, and then go up and down with the joystick, just so you're aware. So just going up like this slowly, covering it with rocks. We're going to make this look nice, this enclosure. Even though we don't have too much money, we're going to work with what we've got. And then, once that's finished, just finishing off now. Still a few cracks, but no matter. We can fix that later. Now, it's looking pretty good, but as you can see, I've made a mistake here. These rocks don't quite fit, so what we can do is back to nature, find the same type of rock that we were using, and we can fill in the cracks. In case, I don't think a fully grown blue wildebeest could fit through there, but I think a juvenile certainly could. A baby one. And then always make sure to fill in all these blue bits, because they're the null barrier poking through, and it's really not, and it can be quite frustrating if you haven't covered the null barrier with rocks. If you're doing it like how I am, the alarm will keep going off, because the game thinks they've escaped when they haven't. And then the next step is, the terrain looks boring obviously like that, because it's just flat. So if we go to the roughen, or you could roughen it like this. Oops, that's a smooth. You could roughen it, but that's a little bit harsh. So I'm going to rewind what we've done, and I'm going to use the pull and the push so that we can do it by ourselves. So we can have a small mountain here, and we could have a bit where the floor dips a little bit here, like that. And then they are going to need a shelter, but that will be gotten to when they're actually in the enclosure. So the next step is the way of attracting the guests to the enclosure. Because sometimes when you look at this way and you're I guess walking through, you're going to look at the stones. You might think what's in there, but at the same time, it's probably not as eye-catching, is what I mean. Whereas we're going to brighten this up a bit, so we are going to have donation boxes. They're one of the main ways of getting money in this game. People donate to the animal sometimes if they have spare cash and they like the animal. So that's always worth having. You've probably, if you make a zoo, you've practically got to make sure you've got to have them. And then an education board. This is what's eye-catching. That will lure the people in, but instead of having one on legs, we could have one like this. Now it is tilted, but I can fix that with the advanced rotate. Now that's straight. And then we'll get it straight first. And then we'll get it completely straight, just like this. Nearly. Like that. And then, yep, and then we've got to go back onto the advanced move, and we've got to use the Z-axis to turn it this way. And then I've realised it's just slightly tilted. Like that. There you go. And then we've got to choose where we'd like it. Maybe, I've got an idea. So we get it right to the glass. Like this. And then we slowly lift it up. And we can have it up there like that. That's not a bad idea. I can see it's floating a little bit though. I can also tell that it is slightly tilted, but it adds the realism. So, just like that, maybe we should have two. So if we have this one here, kind of covering this pole, because it does make it look a little bit funny. Like that. And then we place that one down. Ah, never mind. Ah, silly me. So remember, when you don't want it to randomly rotate objects, always turn it off. So then it will be straight like that. Then it's way easier to move about, trust me. Look, now it'll be very easy. Just like that. And then we'll want the green axis. And then it's whoopsies. Don't worry, everything can be undone. All good. Right, now it's completely straight. Perfection. Love to see it. If we move our education board up and inside the glass slightly, that's perfect. And then, if we move it along, and then use the green to slightly move it forward. Done. The education boards are finished. Now we can turn them on and it will educate our guests about what animal is in here. So we've got our donation boxes and our education TVs. We are forgetting bins though. Bins are very important because otherwise litter scatters around the zoo and it can be bad for your animals. So we could have the bins next to the donation boxes. And to make it more interesting, we should customise our donation boxes to look like the savannah surroundings. So for the stripes, let's go with a nice orange colour. And then for the actual this part, to make it eye-catching, we'll have some red on there. I like it. I like it like that. And then if we delete this one, then we can copy over this one, duplicate, and bring it over here. We love to see it. And then maybe we could have, maybe not there, but we could have some benches here, just so that people don't, so if people want to sit down they can, and they can sit facing the animals, enjoying the view. We can have 4 benches. Lovely. So, the exterior is nearly done. I think the only thing we're missing is more education. I think if we go over here to encourage people to this side, we could have this. So sometimes when you see enrichment for children, it shows that what this is showing is it's a little paw interactive thing, and the kids and adults can put their hands on it, and it will be the different animals. Like that one looks like it might be an elephant or a rhino, maybe a bear, this one. Things like that. So really cool. Right, now we need our stuff. The exterior is done. Here we go. That's what it looks like. Very nice, very nice. Sanbell Zoo is getting on well. So we're going to need a caretaker to clean up the mess. We are going to need a keeper, because otherwise the animals won't be fed. So we're going to attach that to that, and then so we've basically just made a work zone for them, so they can only, so we've basically told that keeper, you can only work in that area. And we're going to name the area that they're working in Blue Wildebeest, so that when we look at the area, it won't confuse us when it says work zone 1 and that. Whoopsies. Right, that is now finished. The work zone is done. That keeper knows that they're only allowed to work in this enclosure. We're going to need a mechanic for any repairs, not a security guard yet. We are going to need a vet though. And now, that's our 4 staff. The caretaker, the mechanic, the vet, and the keeper. The final thing is our animals. So we are going to need the Blue Wildebeest female, Kunto, and the Blue Wildebeest male, Imagreby. Okay, that is a strange name, but okay, we'll go with it. They are now assigned, and as you can see, our caretaker and vet are going in to grab the animals into the dark abyss. Right, this way, onwards. Here they come. They're running, and then they'll open the door. Here they come. Be free. So there they are in their cage. It might look like it's a little bit small for them, but trust me, it's a good size. There's quite a size difference between them as well. We've got our little ditch and our little mountain that we made. Right, this one is injured, so that's not good. We will need to ask we've just asked the vet to come and get that one. Let's see they're both injured. This is not good. So the vet's going to take that one and then come back for this one afterwards. While she does that one, we will sort out this. So, they would like more long grass. And now they're happy with that. They're happy with the long grass and all of that. Very happy. Now they want shelter. So, the way I like doing this is go into nature and, well, whoopsies, grab in the same rocks that we were using before, and then in this corner, that's a decent corner to use. We are going to put the random rotation on, and then go over it like this. Perfect. Round, and then we'll fill this in with more stones. I mean rocks, sorry. Look at it, it's sitting down. And if you listen, they actually sound a bit like a sheep. They kind of bar. It's a very strange noise. And a baa to you as well. So, we're going to go this way and cover all of this in. Yeah, maybe just add a few extras on the top, make it look a bit more rocky. And then, kind of shut the mouth of the cave a bit. As you can hear, the vet is now back with our female wildebeest. Like that, and then there's their cave. And inside, we will have, when I find it, the bedding. There is, extra large. So we're in their cave right now, filling up this, giving them all the bedding. Like that, and then there's their cave, lovely, in the corner, nice and big, perfect. The vet has now taken the male and the female is fixed and happy. Hard shelter 100%, terrain 100%. They're happy with no plants, but I think it looks plain without plants and boring, and they're still going to be relatively happy with plants, so let's add some trees and ferns and things. I know that it says they like green plants, but I think we're going to go with orangey plants because they fit the scene more, if you know what I mean. So I think we're going to go with, try and cover up the door a bit because we want it to be more of a natural environment. So we should have that little, whoopsies, I've just remembered about the auto rotation again. Silly me. Let's turn that off so we can have a big tree there and then, whoops, done it again. So silly. So we could have a big river bush willow tree there and then maybe a little sapling here. I really like that, I don't know about you. And then maybe we could have here in the back, at the back, a small rock formation going on that they can climb. Always make sure that they can't escape though. That's a very good point made. Just a little rock formation there, I really like that too. And then these red oak grass, we can make them look like it's kind of growing out of the rock scrap bits. And maybe at the bottom as well, like that. Lowering it, make it high and low, like that. And then it looks like the grass is coming out. They seem to be very happy at the moment. And then maybe a tiny bit of greenery. Maybe we can have comment down below if you think we should keep this umbrella tree. For now, I'll put it here. But next episode, comment if you think we should have it or not. I will go with the majority. So, maybe we should also have a doom palm. That's an awesome one. I really like that. At the side, and then I think the trees are done. There's a lot of trees. I think finally, we should just have, near the cave, I think we should have some of these pieces of grass kind of covering it slightly. A little bit hidden away. Makes them feel more secure, sort of thing. And then some of these bushes could be growing out of this, like that. So we can pretend it's moss when it's actually just a plain old dog rose bush. Like that. Maybe even some lower down. As you can see, it looks like it's playing with its new things. So that should be enough plants. They seem to be happy with that. They are not happy with the plants, so we're going to have to delete some. I've deleted the bushes on top. And I will delete this tree. Are they happy now? They're very happy now. It was the tree that they didn't like. So if I put these, I've put the bushes back, and I've put that back. I wonder if I put these back and I delete that tree, if they'll still be fine with it, and if it was just this big umbrella tree. Yep, they're fine. They love it. So now, the final thing is the enrichment. They would like toys, but there is nothing that we know. There's nothing that we can get them yet. So we will go to here and then research, and we will get our vet to kindly research about them, letting us unlock more toys. For now, 79% welfare though is good overall. Very good. So, the only things we have left is we need to go to Habitat and we need to give them food and water, of course. Never forget the food and water. Let's have the food trough right in the middle there, so that right in the middle up the front, so that we can make sure that people can see them really well. And obviously the water, it's getting a bit dark now in the game. Maybe we should have it, let's have it there next, just outside of there. Just outside of their shelter. So there's their cage for now. That should be enough. Comment down below what if there's anything else you can think of to do, and name suggestions for both. Make sure to comment whether you'd like. Make sure to comment the name and whether it's for the male or the female, because I will probably take the name suggestion. So now we can put the wildebeest on these signs. Oh no, it's upside down. Right. We're going to have to fix these, aren't we? I'm so silly, I can't believe I accidentally made them upside down. I am really silly. It's now turning day, and it looks like the wildebeest are having fun, which is good. We'll delete this one, and then we'll only fix this one, because if this one is fixed, then we can duplicate it to the other side. So just how it was before, slightly higher, so that they don't miss their good view. Yep, that's good. And then we want to go to Advanced Rotate on the Y section, and it will turn just like that. Yes. And then what? Right, one more time now. Let's move, and then up, 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 so that they don't miss their good view. This way. Just touching the glass. Perfect. There's a keeper in there cleaning up all of the muck. Yeah. All of that. Good. Now it's placed down. The board is there, and then we need to duplicate it. To duplicate, you go on this one, and then we want to duplicate it just like that. And then if we put it right here where it is, and we go to advanced move, we can go to the side just like that. Very simple, very simple. Up, and then place, done. There's both of the education boards. We've got our lovely benches. And we've got our enrichment for the people. Right, at the end, that's a bit strange, just having it like that. So I think, to end off the path, we should have a small building. And I think that building should be Bernie's Bakes. Just like that, closing it all off. Makes it look quite nice, if you ask me. Put it away a bit like that. Then they've got room to queue. £6,000. That was a lot. Outrageous. Just for a cake shop. So there's our Bernie's Bakes at the end. So there's our area. They're mating. This is good. This is really good for us, which means we could have more eventually. More of them. And then we are going to want... They're expecting offspring. We'll check that out in a second. Then we're going to want these rocks. And just to make sure that it's all closed off, we'll have these here. The vet research is complete, which means, thanks to our lovely vet, Herniel Kuvas, that's a strange name, we can now give them new toys, hopefully. Let's go on their enrichment. Yep, grazing ball feeder. Let's have one in their den, and one outside that they can play with. But I like lowering the spawn disc below the ground so it still looks realistic. They should have fun with those. When the keepers fill them up, they can play with them. This one's getting a drink. Let's see when it's expecting offspring. August, year 2. In about half a year in the game, we'll have baby ones, which is really good. As you can see, there's people getting served by this person. They're getting their cakes. Look at those, they look nice. That person's eating theirs. And then the next thing we'd like to do is, I think we should go to construction. And even though these look all right, I do think, and I think quite a lot of people will agree, it just doesn't look great. So I think we should cover these with just like this, and cover them with concrete, so then it looks like one big building, and it will look just better in general. Just like this. And then we would like the regular one, just the wall. We'll do it all the way around and on the ceiling of them. Just like this. Nice and carefully going round. As you can see, there is a little crack in between. Make sure not to cover the windows if you will do this, because they probably still like to look out, and it would look a little bit unsightly when you go in there and there's just a big brick wall, but there's a window there as well. So then we're going to want, I'm going to use the concrete floor as a roof, because the roof is more expensive when it doesn't really need to be. And it's a good way of saving money when you're this early on in the game. So there's our roof, and then the final thing we need is, whoopsies, we're missing a wall. Sorry. We'll get this wall here. And then the final thing we're missing is the window slots, which are here. So they should fit practically perfectly. Yep, they do. And then the people can still look out, which is very good. We would like them to still be able to see this fresh sunlight air on a hot sunny day. So, this is a good job done so far. I think one of the things we should have is even more education. I'm crazy about education. So, I think we should have this talk point right in the middle, and then just on the outskirts, animal talk seating. But as you can see, it doesn't fit, so I think we should move the benches so that they're doubles like that, right next to each other. I like it. Whoops. Comment down below if there's anything that you would like me to change, because I will do so. One seat there. Another there. And they look like they're joining, so that's just adding to the realism. And then the back bar, I like that tree there. People can touch the leaves. And then that there. And another one here to prevent people, silly people, from falling off. And then we can have this. And then do the same on the other side. Which means if we want to do this, we will have to pay for an educator, but I think it's worth it for people's happiness. So that's now there, the seating. But we're going to need to set this up. So first of all, we're going to need the educator. There he is, in the purple. And then we're going to need to set this to blue wildebeest. Let's not allow the standing guests because they could block people trying to get past. All of this is all good, and then let's change the talk to June. Right, as you can see, this one's playing with the thing. If it hits it again, the food should come out. There it is. That one's getting a meal, so is this one. The vet research is complete once again. They should now have more toys. Let's check, because they have only got those 2 balls. Let's have a look. They've got a large football, large snowball, and a melon feeder. So I think we should go with footballs, considering so many people like them. Let's have one. Whoopsies. Let's have one up here, which instantly rolls into the ditch. And one here. And then the only thing left is to open the talk point. And if this is in June, which should be what I set it to, yep, it will be appearing soon. The people should start to pile up in the stands, getting ready. And I think the only thing, other than that I think we should have, is to add some music. Because who doesn't love music? Just in between these rocks. Let's listen to that Africa playlist. Let's go with that Africa playlist on both of them. Some people are randomly walking down here when there's nothing here. Now, let's get another small path here. Getting ready for the next episode, but for now that shall do. So, I really hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I hope you will tune into episode 2. So, that is the end of this episode. As we zone out. So, here we go. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I will see you in episode 2.